my house. That's for damn sure.
Well, if he's not,
I don't know why you would even start a rumor like that.
The thing about Dennis is if he's not going to show, if he's not the first one here, he ain't coming. I've noticed that about Dennis.
The same in the bedroom.
Ooh, that Dennis.
Oh,
what a whore. So
did we move it because of Dennis, or did we move it because of the other show?
No, we moved it because of Dennis, because his school scheduling.
Oh,
but it's fine. He's probably got Halloween stuff. He probably ate too much candy and fell over.
Good for him.
I sat here for 2 hours. I've got like 30 pounds of candy. And like I've got all kinds of delicious candies because I wanted to be the nice old man on the neighborhood.
You know no kids were coming to your place.
Yeah, you live in an apartment complex. Ain't nobody coming to your house.
I see all the kids get dressed up and then they get in their cars and leave. So
they're going to the nice neighborhoods. Exactly. People are going to give out full-size candy bars.
Ain't nobody coming to your house.
So I text Haley and I'm just like, hey, any kids at your house? Because she had texted me and said, hey, how does this work? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, well, you used to live here. And I was like, yeah. And I went over to your house and gave out candy with your mom 7 years ago.
With your mom? Ain't nobody coming to your house, Ben. You live in an apartment complex.
I feel like in an apartment, if you can't put out like a light, you know, because that's the old rule. It's like if you have your light on, then you're trick-or-treat, you know?
Yeah. There's no way to tell.
There's no way to tell. So you got to put out some kind of decoration. You got to put a sign up that says trick-or-treat or something. But I don't think people aren't going to go trick-or-treating in apartments.
Free candy.
Haley and I waited an hour and a half. Nobody came. I'd already seen all the kids in my apartment leave and go to the good neighborhoods.
So then you ate it all?
So, no, me, her, and her friend went over to Village Inn. Pie night. And so, you know, they're all dressed up and they're like, what are you dressed up as? I'm like, I'm a middle-aged white guy. And
scary.
Oh, I'm voting Republican. Oh,
I demand my Social Security.
I think we should cut the Social Security entitlements.
Except for me.
And so then we come back, and as we were coming back, one of the neighbor kids was coming home from trick-or-treating, and they just happened to be at their door as I was going in mine. I'm like, hey, do you want some more candy? And
I want candy.
So I'm like, please take all of this that you can. So I didn't
even buy any this year. I was like, I know nobody's going to come to the door. If I do anything, I'm going to go to Dollar Tree and get like a tiny bag.
Well, didn't the little neighbor kid?
Like I'm going to buy her like a full-size thing of Reese's Cups or something because she's like literally the only one that I could rely upon.
There you go.
She's always adorable.
I bought candy at Ollie's. I bought 3 bags of it. It's supposed to rain all day here in Cincinnati, and it did. And my wife was like, we don't have enough candy. Go buy more. Go buy more. And I did, and nobody showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we have all this candy that I'm forced to eat.
It's shameful.
I know, shameful.
I made a point to buy the majority of the candy as candy that I enjoy myself.
Of course.
Well, you have to.
Just in case.
Just in case. Just in case. Welcome to the Halloween episode of Dork Trek.
Ooh.
This episode, I like to call this episode, what's the word I'm looking for here? This is a decompression episode. If there's ever been one.
Decompressing their balls.
No! Ew! Ow!
They should on dick.
We gonna get it. Yes, this episode is all about sex.
Yeah. This is my favorite episode.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Sex.
Lovely.
All about sex.
Looking for Parmak in all the wrong place.
Which is a really good title.
Mm-hmm. If you remember the country song.
I love the song.
Well, yeah, but we're old. What about the millennials are going to be like?
You know what, man? Fuck them.
Okay, this show came out, 25 years ago?
Yeah, you know what? They already ruined Applebee's. What are they going to ruin? Looking for love in all the wrong places?
Mm-mm.
They might.
And when I saw the title of the song, title of the episode, I just started singing the song. Yep. I was looking for Parnak in all the wrong places. Looking for Parnak with too many faces, needle do.
So the cool thing about this is it was written by Ronald D. Moore.
Of course it was. It's a Klingon episode.
And it was directed, though, by Andrew J. Robinson.
Who is Garrick.
Who is Garrick.
Yeah.
So, which I think is why Quark came out looking so good in this episode.
Yeah, he'd be loving Quark Jack.
Taking care of his boy.
This is a good episode.
Yeah. Great start to the episode, too.
It is. What happened at the beginning of the episode, Benjamin?
I don't remember because I watched it last night.
Benjamin, how could you sell it like that and then forget what happened?
Well, see, what had happened is I watched it last night because I thought that's when we recorded, and then...
So your brain only remembers things for 24-hour periods?
Then I kind of watched this week's episode of Doctor Who, and it's about spiders, and I was really creeped out about that, and so that's what's on my mind right now.
That's no excuse. I was watching Tombstone right before we started this episode.
That's a good movie there, Tombstone.
I've seen it so many times I could put it on in the background while I was working and not even have to look at the screen.
Huckleberry.
Tombstone's good. I will say I prefer Wyatt Earp.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm just...
We're going to join Dennis over on the other...
I apologize. But for me, it's a Kevin Costner thing. It's not like I just like Kevin Costner.
I see. I would normally say that, but I'm not in this case though.
And I like the fact that the Wyatt Earp movie is all about his whole life as opposed to just the Tombstone incident, which I appreciate. I mean, granted, and I will say, I'm not going to make any friends here, but I think Dennis Quaid is just as good, if not better than Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday.
Oh my God. And here's the, okay. So
I love Dennis Quaid's Doc Holliday is super.
No.
People be sleeping on it, son.
No.
Sleeping on it.
People be sleeping on Tombstone.
No, but everybody loved Tombstone. Everybody be hating on Wyatt Earp, son.
No, that was the thing though, is Wyatt Earp was the higher budget. Wyatt Earp had the bigger stars. Because you look at who starred in Tombstone. None of those guys other than, not even Sam What's-His-Name.
I love Sam What's-His-Name. He was in Who's It's Nuts.
He was in Big Lebowski. But, I mean...
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Sam Waterston.
No. Already we're talking about Law and Order?
Right after Jake. No, so...
I had to throw some in for somebody playing the drinking game,
It's true.
See, they never talked about Tombstone in Starlog magazine, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But my Wyatt Earp movie had Gene Hackman.
I don't.
And Mark Harmon.
None of that. I mean,
I don't think I've seen that.
Tombstone.
Tom Sizemore. You haven't seen Wyatt? Wyatt Earp is good. Wyatt Earp is an actual, like, Tombstone is about the Tombstone event. Wyatt Earp is about his whole life. So, like, you learn more about the man behind that one incident.
Gotcha.
It's pretty cool. Like, you kind of learn in Wyatt Earp that, like, he's not really heroic, if you will. He's just more about, like, he's like a prospector trying to make a buck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how the movie ends. Like, he's on a slow boat to Alaska, like, looking for gold.
That one seems like it's a little bit more serious. It's like more of a like a biopic, where Tombstone is like it's trying to be like just a sensationalized Western, which I'm fine with.
It's like fucking Wyatt Earp's gun and Tombstone might as well like shoot rockets out of it and like horses exploding all over the place. Tombstone's a little more subtle.
I have like an ongoing relationship though with Tombstone. Like when I first saw it, I was very much in touch with Wyatt's character.
Your ding dong.
And like the whole thing, like his wife, I had no sympathy for. And then
don't even get me started on that shit.
Yeah, but so then I grew, and the more I watched, I was like, God, I mean, no wonder she's on fucking drugs. This, he's a fucking mentor. So she has an excuse, and I can't believe he treats her like that. And why would she put up with it? And then, though, I watch a History Channel special on it. It's like, oh, not History Channel, but a History YouTube thing. And it's like
the History YouTube thing.
Yeah, it's even worse than what we thought, because it's not like he's cheating on his beloved wife, who, and now she's developed a drug problem. She is actually a whore.
Yeah.
He was her pimp. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
they imply that at the beginning of Tombstone.
I missed the implication.
Because of the implication.
Well, I missed the implication, Jenny.
I did not catch that until, Mr. How accurate is this movie historically videos. And this guy has a YouTube channel, and he'll take like a movie based in a historical time and say,
nobody got time for that.
Let me rip it apart.
Get a real life loser.
Well, hey, history majors got to make a living how they can.
You're a huckleberry. No, it's no. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think Tombstone is dope as shit. Like, it's a great movie, and Val Kilmer's awesome in it. But like, I just kind of like Wyatt Earp more because I have a soft spot in my heart for Kevin Costner. That's all. I love Kevin Costner.
I think when this movie had finally come out, I love me some Kevin Costner, but I think that was after a series of Kevin Costner movies where
every movie is 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, well, that's because they would let him do whatever he wanted to. They're like, you're the biggest fucking star in the whole wide world. Just do it, And all of his movies were making money at the time. I guess Waterworld kind of didn't do as well as they wanted it to, but Waterworld's still a good picture.
It's all right.
It's still a good movie. But I mean, like, I think the final straw for Costner was The Postman. That's when I think people were like, all right, dude, enough's enough. Like,
calm down.
You can't make 15-hour movies anymore. Like, this is enough's enough, sir.
No, I think Postman was where I finally, I enjoyed it. And I love any kind of post-apocalyptic what's-its. But it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, can I just get a get a break now?
Yeah, I need a break.
And I feel like, though,
because
Tombstone came out first, didn't it?
Listen, he was in The Untouchables, No Way Out, Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, Dances with Wolves, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, JFK, The Bodyguard. A Perfect World is awesome. Like that Clint Eastwood flick. Wyatt Earp. I don't remember The War. I don't remember. That's with Elijah Wood. I don't remember that one. He's a Vietnam vet. I don't remember that one. Waterworld. Then he did Tin Cup, and Tin Cup's that's a great ass movie.
That was at the peak of my golf obsession.
Yes. The Postman, and that was kind of, and then after that, he didn't make another movie till 99. That was 10 years of movies right there that I just rattled off, basically.
Because one of the first ones you named off, though, No Way Out.
That's a great movie.
I love that movie, and I don't think enough people have watched that movie.
No Way Out. And, dude, he was even in Silverado, which was super dope.
Mm-hmm.
He's good in cowboy movies. But, yeah, man, The Untouchables was wonderful.
I enjoyed that, other than the Irish guy who spoke with a Scottish accent.
Yeah, but whatever, man. It's fucking your boy Sean Connery. He can do whatever he wants.
I was going to say, you freaking love Highlander.
Yeah.
Don't get started on freaking accents of that movie.
And then I heard Hatfields and McCoys was awesome.
Yeah, I want to see that. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that was good.
And then he was just the hot shit, dude. I tell you what, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch 3,000 Miles to Graceland. It's the best movie in the whole wide world. Like, it's so bad. It's laughably awful, but it's still just wonderful.
I'm in.
I'm in. See that instead of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of his Pa Kent.
I thought that was a good cast. Like, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But I think it was more the film than him.
Yeah.
Because I think Kevin Costner playing a farmer, that's a home run every time.
Mm-hmm.
But not some, weird.
Yeah. So, anywho,
back to Star Trek.
So,
this was actually a really good episode.
It is.
So,
everybody be fucking in this episode.
Julian be walking down the passageway, and he hears some yelling and stuff coming out of the O'Brien. Well, he can't make out the voices. He's kind of listening in, and Quark catches him eavesdropping. But then he notices Quark can hear all of it because then Ferengi ears can hear all.
The big old ears, baby.
So they walk down the hall a bit, and then Quark starts telling him that the O'Briens are fighting again.
Oh.
And
he just wanted to hear him fucking. That's why he was listening.
What's going on in there?
And so he's listening in kind of, and then he gets caught listening by Keiko coming down the hall. He goes,
what?
She goes in their quarters, and he's like, I thought you said, the O'Briens were arguing. He's like, I didn't say Keiko.
I didn't say which O'Briens.
Yeah. And so I guess Miles is like fighting again. This is like a common thing where he's like, no, fighting with Kira, that she's got to take it easy, and the baby and everything. And so yeah, that's what's happening. And this is, I guess, a common thing.
You kind of knew what you were in for, because this was a very cutesy pootsy beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew you were going to kind of see cutesy pootsy stuff throughout the episode.
Well, see, this is something I don't think bring up enough, though, is that Nana Visitor, the actress who plays Kira Nerys, is actually pregnant right now.
Yes, with Julian's baby.
But yeah, it's the Julian Bashir actor's real life baby.
They done had sex.
Well, it was a few episodes ago where there's a scene in Commander or in Captain Sisko's office where she's complaining about it, and she's like, well, you did this to me.
I laughed so freaking hard when I heard her say that.
Yeah, literally. I mean, in the show and in real life.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny. And so I think all the scenes where Julian is involved with the pregnancy, I'm always looking for those in jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't catch that here. I mean, I was hoping, but like, man, she's a bitch. And then,
what a fucking dumbass whore. I mean, nothing. But yeah, that was a cute joke. That was fun.
But then we cut down to I'm trying to think where they were.
Eavesdropping, Keiko.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying though, but then it's at the Replomat where Jadzia and Worf are, and that's when Grilka shows up, and this Klingon chick and these two Klingon dudes show up, and Jadzia's like, oh, I guess the peace talks are going pretty good.
My God, she's magnificent.
She's glorious.
That was, I mean, I don't know. I felt like that was very rude to Jadzia. I mean, whether at this point they were interested in each other or not, that he's just like, oh,
he's
wow.
fucking clueless. He has no idea that
he doesn't. Yeah,
trying to bang him.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't realize that this relation, that she wants to hump him. He just thinks they're like platonic friends or whatever.
See, and I did feel bad for her at this point, because I was like, I thought that they had already been hooking up or something. Yeah. And here he's turning away and like, oh my God, look at this. I want to bang her right here in the fucking bar.
I've never been harder.
Like, and Jadzia is not a very, like, jealous or catty type of person. Like, she's a very strong individual. But, like, you see, like, who's this bitch? And, like, she starts cutting her down. Like,
see, it's weird. I didn't really get that at all. Like, when they kind of made their way and he was, like, they were watching her, I thought she was kind of, like, wingmanning it up to some point. She was like, oh, that's what's-her-face. And,
No, it takes her a minute to do it. But then when she goes into Quark's and Quark walks up, she's like, oh, I remember that's Quark's ex-wife.
Yeah.
And then the look on Worf's face where he's just like,
Oh, that's when he realized that they could be Eskimo brothers.
Yeah, he's like, me and Quark are Eskimo bros. I don't know about that.
And so opening credits, blah, blah, blah. And then Quark is serving her a drink, and she's like, you may not have been, much of a husband, but you're an excellent bartender. And you've got big ears. What? And so she's talking about how the war has basically, started costing her house money, the house of Grilka. And they've, she's not asking for help or anything. And so she's like, because Klingons don't do that financial bullshit. That's why they got accountants, I guess. And so...
yeah, that's why they keep Ferengi around.
Yeah, and so, Quark is like, yeah, I'll take care of that. I got that.
I can help. But Quark is also
I know you're not asking.
Quark is also helping, though, because he wants to try to knock them boots, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess this Grilka lady is like the tip top of Klingon trim, bro. Like, she's the top notch.
I'd do her.
What?
Just saying.
You'd rub both of her clits, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not too big on her ridges.
I'm not really big.
I don't like that pattern.
I got to agree. Her eyebrows are super weird.
Yeah, I'm not a big Grilka fan.
Yeah, eyebrows are weird.
Not like she's a Duras sister.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think she's a little more subtle than the Duras sisters, because the Duras sisters, like, their titties be hanging out and stuff, and like that's because their faces are kind of busted. I think the Duras sisters know that their grills are busted, so they're trying to distract.
Our faces.
Yeah, totally. Like, well, if they look at our hot tits, nobody will look at our busted ass faces.
I used the term butterface the other day. Not derogatory way.
No, Ben, if you say butterface, there's no other way you mean it.
The term had come up, and I said, but that I'd used the butter bank account or something, and the other person was, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's like the old joke with butterface, and they were like, I don't get it. I'm like, I mean, you're old enough, you should know this thing. You've never heard butterface. She's got a great body. But her face, so she's a butterface.
Butterface.
It's like, why would she have butter on her face? I'm like, oh my god,
you're a
fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what you just tell that person. Like, you're dumb.
Just walk away from me.
Yes, just be dumb. Just go be dumb somewhere.
I have become impatient with your existence.
Look here, dummy. Go be dumb over there, please. Thank you.
We took a vote. No, nobody likes you.
Yeah, we took a vote. You're dumb.
But yeah,
butterface.
So when Worf and Dax head up to Ops, Dax tells, the backstory for the folks who don't believe in serialized television.
Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, if you don't know what happened a couple of seasons ago, we're going to recap it for you.
Previously on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. All you would have needed right there was her voiceover. Previously on Deep Space Nine.
I mean, to be fair, I had kind of forgotten. And I only watched 2 months ago or something. For everybody watching it in real time, this has been like a year.
Yeah, at least. And so Dax, though, is like, oh, but see, Worf, he got a case of the Parmakai or whatever. And what is it? Cisco's like, that better not be contagious.
And I think that's the only time we see Cisco in this episode.
I think so, yeah.
He just shows up, throws a baseball at somebody's like, all right, I just came here to get my check. I'll see you guys later. Peace, I'm out.
And so, it's still never going to beat the episode of TNG where I don't even remember which episode it was, but something was going on, and then there's a scene in the transporter room, and O'Brien and Geordi are working on the transporters, or maybe it was what's his name, Broccoli, and Broccoli are working on the transporters, and all of a sudden the transporter room doors open. Picard walks in, and he's like, "Is everything going all right? We should have an estimate in 15 to 20 minutes. All right, keep up the good work." And then he walked back out, and that was his entire thing. And I was like, "Oh my God, Patrick Stewart! He just walked in, went, my check, thank you."
Well, I mean, Avery Brooks kind of does that in this one. He just shows up and throws the ball at somebody and then leaves.
That better not be contagious. Ball.
That better be contagious. Peace, I'm out. And I mean, I would expect that if he was directing the episode at least, because
but it's not even. Yeah, I can get that, but it's Garrick that's doing it, so it's just like, what the hell, man?
Just shows up in jets. I mean, he's got shit he's got to do. I've got an audition that I have to practice for.
This show isn't going to last.
There is a Spencer for Hire reunion episode I need to be in.
Bobby York needs me. But so meanwhile in the infirmary, O'Brien is collecting some medicine from Bashir to help ease. I guess the Bajoran women don't get morning sickness, but they sneeze.
Yes, and of course O'Brien fixed it. I mean, not O'Brien, but of course Julian fixed it, because he fixes everything. That Julian,
he's brilliant.
He is, and handsome.
So O'Brien, though, he's like testing, like he tests the nasal thing. Yeah.
That's good shit.
Oh God, that nitrous.
God, it reminds me of Steve Martin in fucking Little Shop of Horrors, where he's just huffing nitrous.
Yes.
Oh.
I am your dentist.
Who was the patient in that?
Bill Murray.
Yep.
Bill
Do you
Murray
remember
was
the original?
Jack Nicholson.
Very good.
Jack Nicholson was the original patient. I can't tell you who the original doctor was, but I just, for some reason, I just remember that it was Jack Nicholson. And I love Bill Murray in that part. It was so awesome.
But
I love Little Shop of Horrors as a movie. Like, I think it's one of my favorite things in the entire world.
Both, which were old or new?
Just the newer one. I haven't seen the older one. I just know the Jack Nicholson part. It's just this thing, like this random piece of trivia that just stuck in my brain.
I saw the original first. I liked it, but I have to admit that the new one was
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, the voices of the puppet. Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis is the Suddenly Seymour song is great.
Yeah,
I love that movie. I love that. That's one of those things where it's like that and Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters. My daughter came home the other day singing the Ghostbusters theme, and she's like, "I want to watch Ghostbusters." And I just went, "Yeah, let's watch Ghost." Because there's these things as like an '80s parent that like Back to the Future is one of those things that I can't wait to show my children. You know.
I took my the twin boys to see Halloween.
Ooh,
only one of them went with me.
Okay.
Because the other one was like, "I'm good.
I wouldn't have seen
the original. I'm not interested."
Thank you for caring, Father. Thank you for including me in your plans.
I'll stay here and play PlayStation.
Hard pass.
Yeah, and so I left him and his older brother here, and then me and the youngest go to see Halloween. And you know, there was a couple of scenes where Daniel, between the music and just knowing horror movies, he was wearing my Cubs hat, so he would just kind of pull the hat down, let the murder happen, and then
I do that.
The hat back up, and I'm like, okay, you're good.
You know what? I've never seen all of The Shining because I know when scary parts are going to happen based on the music, and I'll change the channel or just leave the room and come back when it's over.
I just wanted to, though, I was trying to remember because my best friend Jay and I were big Halloween fans. And Jay, I think, was more Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Not Friday, the Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think he was more of a Freddy. I was more of a Michael with what our fandoms were. And I don't think either of us were big into Jason. And we had this thing worked out so that we would go to the Coleman County Triplex.
Ooh.
And they had movies at 7 and 9. So you would go to the scary Halloween or Nightmare at 7, and then you'd watch like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or
which is a good one.
Whatever the comedy cartoon palate cleanser for the Late Show. Mm-hmm. That way, the last thing you saw wasn't murder death. and I was probably 7 when Halloween came out or something like that, but. It's just that was the one that I fixated. I probably was like part 4 was the one that came out in theaters when I was old enough to see it, and then you catch up on the old ones on VHS. And I was trying to use that as a guideline of when should I take the twins to see Halloween?
Yeah.
Like, when did I watch it, and then how damaged am I because of that?
You gotta damage them really young so that get it out of the way.
Well, Ben, how damaged are you because of that?
I don't think it's because of that. I think it's the alcoholic parents and the constant abuse and bullying in school.
Okay.
But,
sometimes.
Yeah. In Star Trek. So
wait a minute. So the Star Trek has something to do with it too?
Well, the Star Trek had something to do with what making me who I am.
Okay.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at my fucking walls.
Look at them.
For the Patreons, you can see my walls this week.
Look at those walls. They're beautiful.
I have tape on my walls.
I want to kiss your beautiful walls.
But, I mean, I'm just Star Trek.
Put them in my mouth.
Star Trek kept me from being a yokel, so. But anyway, I mean, so Halloween, I think, I had to be 14 or 15 when I started watching that. And so the twins are 14. So, yeah, they're old enough. Sure, right?
Sure.
PG-13.
Yeah.
That didn't even exist when.
No, it didn't at all.
So no, he's fine. And Jamie Lee Curtis, great as ever.
She was addicted to opioids at one point, according to the front page magazine at the show place, where you buy foods, the groceries.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is that you got to think. I mean, here she is, like 17 or 18 years old. She gets attacked by this serial killer. He almost kills her, and then he disappears. And they don't give counseling for that back in the 70s.
Oh, then she just she eats a bunch of yogurt.
She had to internalize that PTSD. Yogurt's not fixing it.
Because she can't shit, so she's forced to eat yogurt.
Yeah.
Her insides are so destroyed from the scariness that is Michael Myers, who's basically just William Shatner.
Back to Star Trek. See, it all comes round. Spin a wheel and it goes round.
And she can't poop, so she's got to eat some yogurt, and then she starts taking opioids.
Which is odd, because if Michael Myers attacked me, I think I would shit myself.
But it makes sense, though, because from what I understand, opioids make you not shit.
I was about to say that. So that's why she has to eat all the Activia.
Yeah, she's like, you know what, man, I'd be taking too much Percocet and I can't shit anymore. So I got to eat this yogurt. So my life is just basically Percocet and yogurt. That's it. Percocet makes the pain go away and yogurt makes the shit come. Activia.
Proud sponsor of Dork Trek.
That's right. When I take too many Percocets and I can't shit, I just eat this yogurt and poop my brains out. Activia.
Helping America's opioid crisis since 1978.
Well, I saw a commercial for a medicine that is supposed to help people who take opioid shit. And I was like, wow, if that's not kind of inventing a solution to a problem that you've created, pharmaceutical companies, that's amazing. It's like, look, we're going to give you this problem. It's called taking opioids. And then we're going to give you a medication to help you poop after you take too many opioids.
And then there's probably side effects to that, and you have to take more medication to counteract the side effects of that one.
Well, what happens is that your anus hurts so bad from shitting so much you have to take more opioids, and then it's just a constant kind of, circle. And then you're on heroin, blowing strangers.
I was reading, and it was this book I'm reading, and one part of it, they were concerned that one of the other characters was addicted to drugs or drugs or something. And he's like, well, heroin's cheaper than beer now. And I'm like, wait, when did that happen?
Well, I mean,
what fucking beer do they buy?
I was like, I can go get some PBR for fucking cheap. And so why the fuck would I get heroin? I mean, this beer's legal.
Yes, beer is legal. And
except for the black tar PBR. But
yes.
No. Anyway, so Quark is, I mean, not Quark, but Worf is caught up.
Well, Julian is talking to O'Brien about Kira getting out of the bathtub.
Well, yeah, because he's talking about how he's helping her and stuff, and he's like, because he wants him to go, hey, I hear the Jerrys are trying to cross the channel, and it's like, go back to fight his little World War II stuff, and he's like, no, I gotta, deal with her, and so O'Brien says something about having to help her get out of the tub the other day. And Julian's like, did you look?
Wait, what? Yeah. Describe it to me slowly.
Yes. Draw me a picture.
He's like, whoa, it was Keiko. What did she think about this? And she's like,
she was in the corner masturbating.
I'm a sex pervert. Yeah, she was like rubbing her one out while I was helping her bathe, because this is what we do. This is what the O'Briens are into now.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently. I mean, it's just... And so... there's that back and forth between them, and then meanwhile, back at Quark's bar,
this is what the O'Briens do.
It's just, I mean, they're into this weird family dynamic now, and the back at the bar, Quark is putting the moves on Grilka.
Yeah, but it's a really strange way he's putting the moves on Grilka, because he walks into the bar and he throws Morn out of his seat, and he demands blood wine, and then he challenges the I guess her guard to a fight. And and to be fair, this guard is probably, I'm going to go on record here and say the most handsome Klingon man I've ever seen before in my whole life.
Yes.
He's got the perfectly groomed goat. He looks like a 90s R&B singer of Klingons. Like, I thought he was like Keith Sweat or somebody. Like, he was incredibly handsome.
Was this when the Metro trend was coming?
No, this was,
Metro?
He's just a really handsome black man, and then makes a really handsome Klingon. This guy was good looking.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Yeah.
He obviously moisturizes.
A lot. And
very silky skin. And
he smells like cocoa butter.
He's the guy who played Jackie Childs on Seinfeld.
Is he?
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. Is Wikipedia lying to me?
Well, it had.
I'm looking. Hang on.
Tupac. Phil Morris.
That's Phil Morris?
Phil Morris, yeah, because his name was because I was looking for Phil Morris.
Whoa, that is him. Weird.
Oh my God.
He's also in Smallville. Okay.
Yeah,
He's a very handsome man. Like with that goatee. Oh, he was trainee Forrester in Search for Spock. Okay, which just goes to show you if you do Star Trek well, they'll keep bringing you back.
Well, no, that was okay. So his part in Star Trek 3: Search for Spock. Beginning of the movie, Kirk is making a captain's log entry, right? That the Enterprise, now that the trainees have all been reassigned and they're heading back to Earth, Enterprise feels like an empty house with all the children gone, right? And then he finishes his log, he's walking around the bridge, and then the young cadet comes up, Phil Morris, and says, "Sir, well, I was wondering, will there be a celebration when we return?"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Kirk looks at him and says, "You want to know if we'll have a party? Well, we've paid for it with our dearest blood," and walks away. He was also on Mission Impossible, the new TV series.
Dude, his first acting credit is in 1966, where he was on Star Trek. He played one of the boys in the army helmet in the episode Miri.
Yep.
So
he's got one of the longest pedigrees of Star Trek.
Yeah, this goes to show you that if you are good on Star Trek, they will call you back 35 years later. You got to play the long game.
Well, no, his dad was on the original Mission Impossible, which was filming at the same time.
Interesting.
And if you look at them when they got to a certain age, you know how fathers and sons you'll hit that point where if you catch them in the right light, you're like, oh shit, yeah, like Marty McFly and his dad.
Yes.
How they just his son, Marty the Third or Junior or whatever.
I don't know. I only saw the first movie, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So, yeah, his whole family has been connected up to this whole Star Trek thing.
Because look, he was in Star Trek in 1966, and then he was in Search for Spock in 84, and then he was in this episode of Deep Space Nine. He was in two episodes in 96. Then he was in an episode of Voyager in 99.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's he's gotten some work from the Star Trek there.
Well, I think from Paramount, because if you look at his IMDb page, he will have even a lot more stuff that you're like, oh, that guy.
He's very handsome, very handsome.
So yeah, and so Worf puts the traditional moves, and her the older bodyguard who's less handsome, takes him aside,
but still handsome.
We're not, she's not interested in taking the advances of a traitor to the Empire.
And the cool part was Worf is like, I meant no disrespect. Like, you just came in here and threw one on the floor. You said that somebody smelled like a piece of shit, and then you challenged a guy to a fight. That's as disrespectful as I can imagine, friend.
Not for Klingon.
Not for Klingon.
He's trying to be alpha, and he backed down like immediately. Like the second he was challenged, he's like, yeah, my bad.
Well,
that's why it didn't work.
I don't think he backed down.
He knew his place, though.
He did, because he was like, all right, nobody's buying this. Nobody's buying.
The old dude is like, hey, we got it. You were raised by humans. You dress like a human. You don't know,
Well, this is the second time they mentioned that in the episode, because what's-her-face says something to him, too. It's like, for a guy who's wearing a Starfleet uniform, who was raised on Earth, you sure do love this Klingon stuff a lot. So, I mean, he gets called out twice on this bullshit.
Well, to be fair, we've called him out on this shit, too.
Yeah, but I don't, you know what, man? Like, why can't you just give Wolf a break? He wonderful.
Mm.
Oh, I think we may have discussed this before. He seems almost like somebody who converted to a different religion. Like he's way more gung-ho about it than probably even most Klingons.
Yeah.
Because he's like really trying. He's like, oh, I got to go 100% to prove.
But the book says you got to have 2 sets of batleths. One for meat and one for milk.
Yeah, he's making up for lost time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, he tells him that, she wants you to leave. Take off their hoser. So, Worf leaves, goes over to the Defiant. So now he's, crying in his beer on the Defiant with Dax and who is it? Quark shows up. And what is it?
Well, Quark is like, look, you got to help me crush this because I think she's into me and I want to crush it.
What is this? What's the move? Roxanne. Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah, Cyrano de Bergerac, yes.
Which was on an episode of, they staged, Broccoli was in Cyrano de Bergerac on TNG when they did the, their whole, what is it, drama department of Starfleet.
Yes, their whole drama department.
But, so now he's basically got to be Cyrano for Quark. And so that's, he's going like, oh, you got to help me and tell me all the different things for Klingon mating rituals.
How do I crush this? Help me.
That's got to suck for Worf. Like, he just got shot down. And just immediately is like, hey, can you help me? Can you help me hit this?
Yeah.
Come on, bruh. I'll let you smell my finger. Let me crush it. Let me crush it. Let me smash this, bro, and I'll totally tell you all about it. I'll show you the pics on my phone that she'd be sending me.
Yeah. I'm sure they made some kind of deal like that.
If you help me smash, I'll let you look at the pics. Come on, bro. I want to smash.
Not to that level, but I have been in a similar situation back in school.
Carplon?
No. Where it's like, the person I had a crush on, and then somebody else was like, oh, I really like, help me out.
Help me smash it.
How do I write the letter? You write gooder than I do.
Did you do it, Ben?
Well, yeah.
You should have fucked it up intentionally.
You should have been like, oh, who's really great? That Ben guy.
I tried, but I didn't want to hurt anybody. So I was just like,
I heard that Ben guy is hung like a horse.
Yeah, this will make...
and he fucks like a jackhammer. That's what I heard. I heard that Ben McCormick...
Whoa, hey, let's be careful with the names.
I've heard Ben is a demon in the sack.
You've heard wrong.
Like a jackhammer.
You've heard wrong.
He's a sex machine. That song...
That's not what's on the school newspaper. It's like what is it? A dead tree.
No. A dead tree?
Yeah.
I've never even heard that one, Ben. Now you're just making up things because you're being modest.
No, I'm not.
I heard that Ben is a wild stallion.
So meanwhile, back in the O'Brien residence, Miles is giving leg massages to Kira.
Very erotic.
Yeah. And and so he's talking about going back and visiting Ireland and how beautiful Ireland is, which Ireland is a beautiful country.
It's so wonderful.
And she's like, oh yeah, I'd like to, maybe I'll go with you.
Maybe I'll go with you and you can rub my clit. And they're like, no, what is happening? And they realize there's a feeling. They're falling in love for each other.
No, they're not falling in love. That's some straight physical lust. And,
I didn't I just didn't buy this at all. Not a bit.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't get any kind of chemistry from them. Like the weird mutual attraction that they suddenly the lightning bolts hit them or whatever. Like I've never known anybody that happened to. Like you kind of just act awkward around each other for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything, O'Brien's dick started moving, and then when she was like, "Oh, I'd go to Ireland," he was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna leave my family, and we're gonna run away together, and this is gonna be the best." I think this was more of an O'Brien thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they both were kind of catching something.
I just wasn't buying it.
I think it's a proximity thing.
I think Nerys is too fine for O'Brien.
I just think they haven't been doing anything. Miles and Keiko aren't doing anything because you've got some chick across the hall. You got Molly, there. So it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, General.
What is it? Bashir hasn't been available. He's been busy lately. So,
Bashir's trying, but he's like, I can't bang tonight.
So
I got something going on. I got to rub Nerys's feet. And then
I think Bashir is,
with my balls.
So, then it's like,
good job,
regardless of how strong the feeling is, the fact that there's like that inkling of a feeling, there's that weird guilt. So when Keiko walks in,
my dick moved. She saw it. I knew it.
Oh, don't step on my account.
I think that's what it was. Is that his dick moved and she felt it. And she was like, "Whoa,
hey now,
whoa! I didn't ask for all this. I just wanted a foot massage. Foot massage don't mean nothing."
It's like he's standing pretty far away, and she's like, "Whoa, this is not the stereotype I heard about the Irish. What the fuck's going on back there?
What the fuck?
This changes everything. I don't know if I can live here. I don't feel safe."
Holy shit.
That thing could go off and I could get more Bajorn pregnant. And let me out of here.
And then Keiko walks in and they start wondering immediately if they can go for a three-way. Or at least that's how it happened in my head.
I'm thinking that was already happening.
No. After this, I think it happened. Like once they started getting the attraction for each other, then I think they went for the three-way.
So when we cut away to Worf on the Defiant listening to Klingon opera, that's when they're just like, don't stop on my account.
Yes, to keep rubbing it for me. Yeah.
I sadly feel like it didn't actually happen though. Like it was just this really awkward exchange between like Miles and Keiko. And
do I put it here or do you? Miles, you never know where to put it.
Miles, why don't you rub her vagina?
You're rubbing it wrong. Go counterclockwise.
Miles, you're not doing it right, Miles.
Spit on it, Miles.
Did you just say spit on it, Miles? That was really good.
No,
you totally said that was great. I really appreciated that. That was awesome. I like it when people say filthy shit on this show and I don't have to do it. Like that makes me really happy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
It's the least I could do. So now Worf is over on Defiant.
Spit on it, Miles. Now spit on me, Miles. That's right. Call me a whore, Miles.
So Worf is jamming out to some Klingon opera. Does anybody like opera? I mean,
I'm sure somebody does.
I mean, I'm sure somebody does, but I mean, does anybody? I mean, I would listen to Klingon opera before I would listen to real opera because it's got the word Klingon in it. I just like Klingon stuff.
No, I'm kind of over this whole Klingon thing now. I was getting into it now.
Been over it.
Yeah, Ben, you've been over this since we've met. You hate Klingon.
No, but DS9 Klingon stuff. If you've listened to some of the earlier episodes, I was kind of warming up to this whole Klingon thing, and I was like, okay, it's not like it was on TNG. I can get behind this. But now it's just like, yeah, I'm back over it again. I don't like the Klingons, so that's.
But I will say that I think it's used a little. It's a little less in Deep Space Nine because they have so much other shit going on.
Yeah,
I'd rather see. I think like the Klingon episodes in Deep Space Nine are kind of like holodeck episodes in TNG, where it's like they want to take you away from the kind of heaviness and kind of bulky storylines of the war and the invasion and all this stuff. So let's just do a Klingon episode.
Or the Ferengi episode.
Yeah.
I think, though, these other episodes, whether it's Ferengi episodes or Changeling episodes or Klingon episodes or Quark episodes, are better than any holosuite episode or holodeck episode that we've had. I just think it works better. So even as much as I dislike the Klingons, I think I would rather see a DS9 Klingon episode than a TNG holodeck episode.
Oh, yeah, no, totally, yeah. Because at least you know that episode is based in reality. And the cool part about it is somewhere down the road, this will all come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, they do a better job of tying it in with a storyline, like bringing in Grilka instead of just making some random chick that walks in the bar.
Yeah,
they tied it in with the previous episode. But I mean, to be honest, like I love the holodeck episodes. I like that ridiculous shit.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even care.
Well, then you're gonna love Voyager.
Yeah, I can't wait. Change my mind.
So,
nah, son.
But now, so Quark comes over onto the Defiant. I don't know how he gets on the Defiant, but he walks onto the.
He just walked on. I mean, it's open.
And, it's just the most highly advanced ship Starfleet has right now.
Yeah, but it's open. I mean, they're connected, right? Like, they're all connected. I mean, you're just walking around. I'm sure he asked somebody, and it's Quark. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, so, he's telling Worf all about how the night went, So I guess Quark is now in voyeur mode. He's going full Cyrano de Bergerac.
He's like, look, man, I need your help.
And so he's going to keep helping him. And so, they go to the holosuite, and Jadzia and Worf are training, training Quark how to be a Klingon lover.
A tough guy.
Yeah, and they're fighting Klingons. And
this is a lot of work to get some ass.
There's easier ways. I
mean, Quark.
Girls.
Can't Quark just go to the holosuite and just do it there and
Yeah, but after a while, don't you get tired of masturbating?
No.
I still.
No. Do you, Jenny?
Well, no, but sometimes.
There you go.
But sometimes it still wants some strange,
Yeah, but if it's a lost cause, and this feels like a lost cause, but I guess.
Is there a chick version of sitting on your hand?
I don't think so.
I'm sure
I've never tried it. I don't know. It feels like you need to be able to move your hands a little bit more.
Well, there's a level of manual dexterity that you're going to have to be into that guys are just. What was it? The thing from Clerks? Moisture tight space and rub. That's really all you need.
That's why I have battery-powered devices.
And you should. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's why I have a bank account and multiple apps. But so they're fighting, and I guess they're fighting as if they were Collis the Unforgettable and some chick that Collis banged called Lucara.
Yeah, which is
some great moment.
It's the greatest Klingon love story in the history of love stories.
Yeah. And so now Quark has to say some, big thing in Klingonese, which I find it odd. I find it odd, though, that Memory Alpha now calls it Klingonese.
That's stupid.
Because it used to be, when I was a kid, it was Klingonese. And then it became, no, Klingons speak Klingon.
Yeah, but Klingonese sounds real racist.
Didn't they call it Klingonese in this episode?
Possibly.
I don't know, but it sounds real racist.
I went back to it. I don't know.
Because I felt the same way. When they said it, I was almost like, that doesn't sound right.
Are we doing Klingonese again?
This sounds problematic.
Turning Klingonese. I think I'm turning Klingonese. I really think so. Blah. Turning Klingonese. I think I'm turning Klingonese. I really think so. Blah. Yeah, that Klingonese sounds real racist.
Yeah. Well, it's like, do you watch anime or do you watch Japanimation?
Neither.
And so, so the entry on Memory Alpha.
What's the difference between Japanimation and anime?
One is what it is. The other is what weeboos call it. So the entry on Klingonese is Klingonese, and in parenthesis, also known more commonly as Klingon, was the language used throughout the Klingon Empire.
Turning Klingonese. I think I'm turning Klingonese. I really think so. Kapla. Kapla.
All right. So then
Kapla on your face.
Oh, Jesus. why would you do that?
Because you're a whore for me.
I always hate the Collis clothing.
His name's Kalis, bro. All right, not Collis. His name's.
I think it's Collis the Unforgettable.
I think it's Kalis.
I think you're from northern part of the Klingon Empire, then.
All right, that's fair. You know what? Fair enough. I'll give you that one. Fair enough.
You're being racist, Ben.
Fair enough. You know what though? Maybe it is. A region, but I've always heard it as Kalis. But I will. If Ben's gonna go with the whole, maybe you're from a different region, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
Copla,
motherfucker.
On your tits.
But, that's not how Copla works.
Oh, so that's success on your tits. Yes, it is.
No.
It's success, Ben. Success.
That works for me.
Success.
So anyway.
Copla.
And my webpage closed. I'm having to scroll quickly.
I know what happens from here, man.
All right. So good. So
I forget though.
Okay. So now,
I was too busy thinking about Copla on some boobs. Copla.
The Duras sisters.
Yeah, Copla. But again, they Butterfaces.
Meanwhile, Odo needs a check.
Yes.
And we go to the security office. And,
you know what? You guys are all a bunch of dicks. I'll see you later.
And so Odo and
I'm
Kira,
human.
They're going through the security reports. And so Odo's getting kind of frustrated because there's this, these thefts keep on happening. And he's putting the blame on O'Brien because he's like, yeah, he needs to be doing these upgrades, and them upgrades would be fixing it because he's still using Windows 95 and we need to go up to Windows 98.
And Kira's like, don't make fun of O'Brien. He's my boyfriend now.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
with his penis.
His human penis. And then, of course,
I love that he's like,
going to get all jealous.
Well, there's the whole thing where it's like, well, we're like family now. And Odo's like,
really?
What kind of family? Like a sister or a cousin or an uncle?
Yeah. Are y'all humping cousins?
Dirty uncle.
Y'all from West Virginia cousins?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between California cousins and Alabama cousins.
And humping cousins. You about to get it in, cousins? And they're like, shut up. And then that's the end of that scene. So yeah. Odo and Cisco have a combination of like 4 minutes screen time this whole episode.
Mm-hmm. I think this is when I noticed that like the makeup in this episode was really, really bad. Like you can see the seam under Odo's eyebrow, like where the prosthetic is like lifting up. I think the same thing happened with Quark in another scene where like he was talking and you could see where like his mouth was moving independently of his cheekbone.
Yeah.
And like there was a gap, and I was like,
well, they probably
it was TV. Like they could get away with some stuff back in the day.
Well, yeah, and it was less than 720p back then.
And they probably, you know what, man, they had a big episode last time. They had to build that ship, and there was a bunch of special effects and stuff. So they probably shot their wad for the budget. Like, you know what? We'll this will be like a talkie episode where we don't leave the station, and we'll see Odo for 4 minutes and you won't even notice him, and his makeup will be bad. But yeah, nobody will care because we'll talk about fucking sex. Yes. And it worked. But it's a great decompression episode. Like it really is. It kind of takes the air out of the room where you're just like, oh, this is fun. You know? Mm-hmm. Because it's weird to have a Star Trek episode that's just about sex. Because all this episode is Quark is trying to get laid.
Yep. And
Worf wants to bang the same chick.
But he's going to live vicariously through Quark.
The technology is weird at the end because finally Lionel Richie Klingon is like, you know what, man, fuck all this. I don't want to be a part of this house if Quark is going to fuck the old lady. And I'm going to challenge you to a duel, and I'm going to kill you.
Gonna throw down.
We're gonna fucking fight to the death. And then somehow, some way, they cook up some technology. They trek the trek, and Worf is able to fight this handsome R&B Klingon.
Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat Klingon through Quark, and I don't understand how it happens.
It does. I believe.
Yeah, totally.
Polarity in Quark's brain through the thing and made him into like a marionette of sorts.
But Worf isn't in the room, so how does he know what's happening?
Well, that's why the little things that come up, that's probably like, remember the game?
Oculus Rift.
A lot of probablys here.
Do you remember the game that they brought back and then everybody on the Enterprise was shooting lasers in their eyes?
Yeah, Space Mario Brothers.
This is the same that's what the parts that were sticking up were They were shooting the visuals into his eyes, so he could see what Quark sees.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
No, that's what was happening. Because it was those were the optronic relays.
Oh, when you say optronic relays, now I'm buying it.
Yeah, that sounds legit.
Well, Jadzia said
well.
One of the optronic relays went out, and she had to recalibrate it. And, oh God!
Does everybody have that music memorized?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't even play as much as you guys did, and it's like I'm getting flashbacks to some of the happiest days in my life.
Between that and Tetris music. Tetris music may be the most like...
I don't remember a lot of the Tetris music.
I mean, just the main theme, at least. Anything else? Yeah.
There's a guy, I think I've shared the link with Jenny, but he basically plays piano. If you look up, I think it's like the evolution of game music or meme music or something like that. And he's this creepy guy that plays the piano, but he stares at the camera the entire time.
Yeah, that's weird. Playing. I don't want to watch that.
And it's really good. And then he's like, "Oh, here's 100 songs that you've heard and you listened to, but you never knew the title." And then he plays like a piece of all these different. Like, oh, that's a real song.
But yeah, but I don't understand how any of this stuff works.
Yeah, but it's an optronic relay,
and it's fun.
It burns out momentarily, so then he has
didn't
to
Worf smack it with a batleth or something. He was just getting too
it blew. It was like it just couldn't take the massive surge of masculinity,
the surge of sex.
And so now he's like, oh shit. And I like how the Worf, he's like scanning, and he's like, no, somehow he's still alive. Work faster on repairing it. And so Quark is going through. He demands the right of proclamation,
which sounds pretty good.
You know, and he's like, hey, look, I've been doing all y'all's Klingon stuff and respecting your traditions. You need to respect some of my Ferengi traditions.
He's a master of bullshit.
Well, he is. Yeah, he's a Ferengi. That's what they do.
And they're like, well, what's this right of proclamation? And he's all like, oh,
I'm really not sure.
I've got to give a speech. That's what I got to do. I got to talk.
About love.
And like he's doing his talk, and all of a sudden they fix the optronic relay, and all of a sudden he's just like, whoop, and now the speech is over.
Let's fight.
Let's fight again.
So, like, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking that, like, in like D&D terms, like just doing like multiple bluff checks.
Yes,
like,
very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, they're buying it still somehow. I don't know.
Jenny, you keep talking that way. We're gonna play D&D.
I'd play it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in like forever.
Yep.
But yeah, my books back from or buy new ones.
We could play 5th edition. It's supposed to be. It's 5th edition's real easy.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. I got all these dice. I like how my son though he's watched like a ton of the D&D videos, and so his thing is like, no one touches my dice.
Get the fuck off of my dice.
I'm like, well, yeah, and he's like, don't hand me my dice, Dad.
Keep your hands off my goddamn dice, Dad.
I need the positive energy to flow. I'm like, okay, son, leave the table.
Get out of my dice.
Maybe he's got some crystals that can re-energize them or something.
Yeah, you never know. I like having dice are fun, man. They're cool. You know, I'll totally. I mean, I would like to play D&D. I think that would be fun. Are we gonna play in Star Trek this week, right?
Yeah.
No, because it's your birthday.
No, next week. Next
week. Okay, next week.
Let's say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too.
That's right, because it's Jenny's birthday this week. Happy birthday, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you. I'm old.
You're turning 29.
Jenny's 29.
Look a day over 25.
Yep.
I've seen your birth certificate. I know how old you are.
That's weird.
Don't try to lie about it.
You're from Kenya?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, I knew it.
Certificate of live birth.
Jenny's fucking Kenyan. I knew it.
I'm sure you can tell by my skin color.
Kenyan. She's one of them Kenyans. Hell no, man. He ain't getting burn. But yep, and then everybody fucks, and then the episode's over. Basically, they all end up in the infirmary.
Worf wasn't too quick to take that headset off.
Well, because Worf wanted to hump what's her face, but then
he wanted to keep that optronic relay.
He wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And Jed,
well, that was part of the deal, I think, because
But Jadzia is like, "Nah, turn that shit off."
Jadzia is like, "Nah, man, turn that shit off. I'm gonna show you some fucking. I'm gonna put it on you."
So she finally calls him out,
and they hook up.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Yeah, she's the aggressor.
And Jadzia is a fine woman. And when they write, like, she's such a believable Klingon, if that does it make sense? Like,
yeah, she's a better Klingon than Worf is.
Yeah,
because she's actually lived with the Klingons and
but I'm saying
blood bonds with them and shit.
Terry Farrell, the actress, is a really good Klingon. Like, even in the book, like, if you read the book, Jenny, she's talking about, like, she never really felt comfortable saying, like, all the science-y shit. She's like, but when I'm just talking to Cisco as an actress or talking to Worf or doing this, it's more natural for me. And and you never really notice it, but it is kind of true. Like, she's a pretty terrible science officer, but she's really great at everything else.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really sad, though, that she, like we talked about on the episode where they go to the Klingons and infiltrate, that she was allergic to the latex.
Yeah, I would love to see her there.
Because I'm sure she would have done great as a Klingon.
She would have been amazing. But
I know we kind of skipped over the part about Kira tries to basically escape by going to Bajor.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and then Keiko's like, "Oh no, you can't go alone."
Miles!
She's just trying to get rid of Miles. She's fucking sick of him.
Go with her!
I like when Miles and Kira are talking about it, and she's like, "It's quite possibly the most romantic place on Bajor."
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
And it was a lot of, like, unnecessary details about how romantic and how beautiful the scenery is and stuff. And it's like, all they have to do is just go down to the planet. She can go hang out. He can go have a vacation on his own somewhere else.
No, Keiko will figure it out.
Or just go and bang and get it the fuck over with.
Runabout.
Yeah, but at this point, though, I think she wants to bang him. Or he wants to bang her, but she ain't into it.
No, I think both of them know that if they're alone for a while, they're going to do it. They both got.
They should have just done it. They should have just done it. They could have gotten away with it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is I know O'Brien is too much of a loyal family man that
pussy.
He would live with that regret for the rest of his life.
I think O'Brien's more into humping her than she is into humping him.
No.
I think she wanted to bang him. I don't know why, but she did.
Because the Irish charm is hard to resist. Yeah, you can't resist the Irish charm.
Can't resist the old Irish peen. So, and that's the episode. Everybody fucks. I love this episode.
It's all right.
It's real corny and kind of silly and completely unnecessary, but I think that's why I really like it.
We needed this episode.
Yeah, we really did. I'm going to give this episode a 6.5.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Oh, shit.
We're getting up there.
Well, I'm going to give it a 6.5 as well.
Whoa, that's a lot of 6.5s. 2 of them.
So I think that averages out to 6.9.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, much like this episode.
Which is fitting because this whole episode is about everybody fucking.
I like how Julian is like, I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know. I'm not going to ask how anybody's doing it or how this happened.
He doesn't have to ask because he's got the video.
Well, but he's also jealous because there's rough sex going on and he's not having any kind of...
That's true. That's what it really is he's mad.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it, I just want to have some regular sex. It doesn't even need to be rough.
And Bob, we are counting down until the incident with Julian.
The incident with
Julian. Do I need to go away for a minute so you guys can talk about spoilers?
I don't know.
I'm not going to spoil it for the audience, but there is a situation happening.
I
don't know. I'll have to use my...
Baby.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Weird. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll all find out together because I don't know what you're talking about, Ben.
Neither do I. I'm
kind of lost me there, but I'm good with that.
I'm making shit up.
Well, you know what, Ben? You're very good at that.
Like pork.
Yep. So there you go, everybody. Thank you for listening to the episode. We will be back next week with more episodes. And episode 300 is right around the corner. So
what are we on? What are we on?
I don't know. I got to look.
Okay. What if
200 and a lot.
So yeah, I think it is. Let me see here.
I mean, I'm terrified that what if this is like 301 and we're like, oh shit, how did we miss it?
Whatever. I mean, that would be typical for this show. Mm-hmm. We are at episode number 290. This is 299.
Holy shit.
So next week is episode 300.
Oh shit. I'm gonna need some time off.
I'm gonna need some time off. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I can't handle it. I can't.
Yeah, I'm meeting up with Manny. We're going to the gun range.
Well, there you go. Have fun. Episode 300 of Dork Trek next week. We probably won't, you know what? There's a good chance we won't even remember, but hope we'll find out. So there you go, everybody. Thank you for listening.
You guys are great.
300 episodes, everybody. Wow, man, great. But you're better because you like it. We're just doing this now because we're completionists. Mm-hmm. So
we stopped. All of us stopped liking Star Trek 3 years ago.
I don't even watch Star Trek.
I literally just read the Wikipedia entry. I
got the Cliff's Notes.
I haven't watched Star Trek since 1995.
They can never tell though. They can never tell because we just talk. You know what? I will say this. Well, I think we mentioned Law and Order like once. So good job for us. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because we're getting it out of our system over on the Law and Order podcast.
Yeah, just wait for that shit. It's going to be hot today.
What was the title?
I believe the episode of the Law and Order podcast is called Gung Gung.
No. See, you say Gung Gung. This is blowing my freaking mind. Everybody says it different.
What do you say it as?
I just say dun dun.
I say bum bum.
I think it's gung gung. It sounds like gung gung.
Bum bum.
All of these are technically right. There's no wrong way to say it, but except I saw somebody the other day said donk donk.
No, you're dumb. No, son.
Donk is just fucking right out.
Yeah, you're a dumb for that.
My kids are actually like Pavlovianly trained with that sound because their grandmother, whenever she was babysitting them when they were little, she would just marathon that shit while she was like doing housework and stuff. And so whenever they would hear it, they would come running because she would want them to be quiet, so she'd give them snacks.
Try to watch my shows.
Exactly. So what she didn't realize is that they had trained then to hear the dun dun.
And their mouths start watering.
And they'd come running, and she'd give them goldfish snacks so they'd be quiet.
That's funny.
And so now, I bet I could like summon them just by playing it loud enough and them being out in the front.
When Sophie was a little baby, we would watch The Office. All we did was watch The Office and Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's how this podcast was born. Mm-hmm. Sophie, every time we would watch The Office, when the music would kick in, Sophie would wake up. She'd kind of, she'd stir wherever she was. Like she'd be in our hands and we'd be holding her watching The Office. And as soon as after the beginning of music and then it kind of picked up, she'd, like she would stir every time. It was so weird.
Have you tried doing that? Like just play it?
Nah, I don't know. But she definitely knows what The Office is because there was a time in our lives where she would just come out and go, "Are you guys watching The Office?" Like, no, we're not. Because she just always assumed we watched The Office.
That's like it's not Star Trek.
Yeah, it's got to be something, right? If it's not Star Trek, it's got to be The Office.
Yeah.
Gung gung.
I don't see the bald guy.
Yeah. Where's that bald guy? Number one. All right, everybody. Well, next week, episode 300. Yeah.